We traveled east, over the mountains and into the vast deserts of broken lands. As the days passed, my companion told me of himself, that he had once been a great warrior, and that a dark and secret burden now weighed heavily upon him. We traveled for an eternity across that arid wasteland. How long? I couldn't say. And always, a dark cloud seemed to follow us just over the horizon. Finally, the journey ended. We climbed the last bridge. There below us lay our destination. The shining jewel, Loot Lane, with a great sea beyond. We made camp that last night. Perhaps it was the warm desert wind or the sound of the ocean, but for the first time in many weeks, I slept. However, the dreams returned, but these were clearly not my own. I beheld a vision of a great man, the mage, Talrasha. You were there too, Tyrael. I remember seeing you in my dream. His brethren had cornered a great demon, Baal, Lord of Destruction, who had been set loose upon the world. They attempted to imprison the demon within a sacred stone. Yet when their attempts failed, Talrasha selflessly volunteered to contain the demon within himself, completing the prison. He instructed his brethren to bind him within a tomb, buried under the sand, there to wrestle with the demon for all eternity.
Now you know what I seek, Marius. This is my brother. Sleep now. We set out with the dawn.
The next morning, we walked over the hill toward Loot Lane. I had no idea then of the horrors that were in store for me there.
Greetings, honored traveler. I am Jaren, Lord of Loot Lane, and I bid you welcome to my fair port city. I'm glad to know that once again, caravans are free to travel through the Western Pass. For some time now, we have been under siege by an evil power that I cannot identify. Strange, it all began when a dark wanderer came this way, looking for the tomb of Talrasha. No one knows exactly where Talrasha, keeper of Baal, is entombed, but it is certain to be far out in the desert. Now my people whisper tales of the dead rising from their tombs, and horrible creatures lurking amongst the moonlit dunes. Even I have witnessed things which I cannot explain. I've ordered the port closed and all trade ships moored until I am sure that my city is safe. Atma, the tavern keeper, has an important mission for you. Go see her immediately. You'll find her on the other side of town. Now I must return to the palace. I apologize, but I can't invite you in. Things are rather a mess right now. To any who aid me in the defense of Loot Lane, I pledge my support. Passage east, wealth, honor, all are due to those who help my city. For trade in magic and the like, see Drognin or Lysander. Drognin is the wisest man I know, without equal in magic and ancient lore. Poor Lysander is nearly deaf, but he's a reliable potion chemist. For travel back west, see Wariv, whom you already know. Our own Farah is a fine and honest armorer, and she can heal wounds as well. Elzix is the innkeeper, and may also have some items to trade. Grays, the mercenary captain I hired to secure the gates of Loot Lane, keeps order in town as well. There are others here too. I'm sure you'll meet most of them. Just look around.
Halt! You may not pass.
I don't expect this of you, but if you want to help me, I would be grateful. In the sewers below our city, there lurks a horrid creature that hungers for human flesh. The creature has killed many, including my son and my husband. If you destroy it, I will reward you. Please, be careful though. That beast has taken enough from us already. The sewer entrance is through the trapdoor, just up the street. Evil has laid siege to Lutko Lane, and you may be our last hope. The creature makes its lair in the tunnels beneath the city. He butchered my husband and son. I simply cannot bear to talk about it.
Hey, don't touch my drink, or I'll bore a hole into your skull with my thumb. I don't know why you people keep pestering me. Grays seems to have this place locked down nice and tight. Not that I couldn't have done the same. I've proven my valor in combat plenty of times. There are some ancient tombs out there in the desert. You have to go pretty far to find them, though. Rumor has it that they are crawling with walking corpses now. Shit. As if the saber cats and claw vipers weren't bad enough.
There is something about Farah that troubles me. Her manner is strange for a lonely desert maid. The Horadrim used to mummify their highest mages and infuse them with spells that would allow them to protect their tombs, even after death. I have no idea why one of them would be acting so malevolently. Perhaps Drognan or Farah would know more about this.
I've heard that you are responsible for banishing Andariel back to the burning hells. I'm impressed, stranger. That couldn't have been easy. My name is Drognan, and I know what you're up against, my friend. You ought to look over my inventory of items for trade. When the recent troubles began, Lord Jaren came seeking my counsel. I advised him to close the port and put the town under strict watch. Lately, though, he's been occupied within the palace. I doubt his whores could divert him from his civic duties for this long, though. Farah and I have been talking about the creature recently. From my studies, I have deduced that it is Radamant the Fallen, an ancient Horadric mummy that has for some reason left his tomb to prey on mortals. I'm doing some more research now. If you check back later, I may have some more insight as to his nature.
I know much about the ancient religions. I was trained as a paladin of Zakarum in the Eastern Koras Temple many years ago. Meshif is an honest man as far as I can tell. He has never pestered me about my past. I believe that the creature you refer to is one of the ancient Horadric mummies from the tombs that lie buried beneath the desert sands. It is unusual for one of his kind to be so far away from his resting place. I sense in this entity a restless and malevolent spirit.
Greetings. I'm Meshif, captain of this ship here. I make port runs around the Twin Seas and occasionally out to Kingsport in Westmarch. I haven't sailed anywhere lately, though. Jaren has ordered me to stay docked here in case of emergency. There are 2 entrances to the sewers, I believe. One of them is right near here, down by the water beneath the docks. I can see it from my ship, and you can bet I keep an eye on it every night. Oh, I've known Elzix for years. He always offers me a free room at his inn when I dock here, but I prefer the comforts of my own cabin.
Now that Andariel is dead, I can return and outfit the rogues properly. Once I've made some trades here, I'll be free to head back to their monastery. Let me know if you want to travel along. Jaren has his father's strength and wits. He's young, but he rules this place with wisdom and care. I think he'll grow into a fine sultan, provided we all survive this crisis. I've heard tales of walking corpses out in the desert at night, though I've never actually seen one.
How do I know I can trust you, hmm? You may be as shifty as that pack rat Elzix who runs the inn. But if you need a potion, though, I suppose I can make you one. For a price, of course. There are some ancient enchanted fountains in the desert that can heal your wounds, if you drink enough from them. I hear that beast is after body parts. Does he eat them? Ugh, ghastly.
I bet you wonder how this town manages to stay safe with all the trouble going on out in the desert. Well, I can tell you that it's got nothing to do with the local town guards. They're all in the palace for some reason. Jaren hired me and my mercenaries to help keep the peace around here. We're not cheap, but we're the best this wasteland has to offer. Mashif has sailed all around the southern seas and visited many strange lands. Must be driving him mad having to stay anchored here. I've personally found some of that devil's victims washed up out of the sewer. Often they are missing limbs or a head, and their bodies have always been skinned. At first, the creature raided the town at night. That's how Atma lost her family. Now we've got him barricaded in the sewers. You're safe up here on the surface, but every now and again, some fool wants to be a hero and heads down to the waste tunnels with a pig sticker.
You look like a sturdy adventurer. You know, I used to be quite the scoundrel in my day. I led the fiercest group of bandits who ever terrorized these sands. Nowadays, I run this here inn and pretty much stay out of trouble. My days of adventuring are behind me. We've all fared well under Jaren's leadership. The town has remained safe throughout this whole mess. And yet the lad still seems very upset about something. What tales Drognan can tell. You would do well to listen carefully to that wizened wizard. I hear that the creature kills his victims in order to hack off their limbs. I guess that makes me a less likely candidate, eh?
Rudiment, return to dust. Ah, the lost Horodric scroll! What a fortunate turn of events! As the last living Horodrim, I alone have knowledge of its meaning. Now, to read the Horodric runes it bears. The Horodric mages, after binding Baal within Tal Rasha, magically sealed off his burial chamber from the mortal realm. Those same mages also crafted fearsome Horodric staves, and imbued them with the special power to open the chamber's hidden door. After nearly losing one to the thievery of a rogue sorcerer, they divided all the Horodric staves into two parts, wooden shaft and metal headpiece, hiding them separately to safeguard them. The Horodrim foresaw our current plight and designed the hiding places to reveal themselves to worthy heroes like you. Collect both parts of a Horodric staff and unite them using a Horodric cube. Then you may enter Tal Rasha's burial chamber. If you haven't already, Tell Atma that Rodamant is dead. It may help to ease the weight of her mourning. Mischief is an interesting man. Part of him longs for the freedom of the open seas, yet his heart belongs in his homeland.
They say that the taste of vengeance is bittersweet, but I find it to my liking. In addition to my undying gratitude, I have spoken on your behalf with the rest of the townspeople. The merchants have agreed to show their gratitude by offering their wares and services at lower rates. Oh, Jaren wants to see you too. You'll find him in front of the palace. Elsix and I have reached an understanding over the years. He sends travelers to me for drink and entertainment, and I send them back to him for a soft bed. The travelers often trade their wares for lodging.
Whoa. Radamant the Fallen, is it? I've fallen off many a bar stool, and no one calls me Geglash the Fallen. They might go so far as to say, Geglash, you've fallen. Have you found those big sand maggots yet? Arrows and all that don't work so well against them. Best thing is to hack them with a sword or such.
Good job, mate. At night out on my ship, I was often awakened by that fiend's awful moaning. I'll bet I rest easier now. The Lady Farah has a proud, noble air about her. Grays seems to be a dependable fellow. I hope he can handle it if those things in the desert decide to attack this town.
Atma is a good, loving woman, but I fear she will succumb to her despair and hatred. As you have helped Atma and all of us, so shall I help you.
Drogden? Oh, he's a good friend of mine. I help him find exotic spell components in alchemical books from time to time. I think he used to be a sorcerer of great renown, but he doesn't like to talk about his past.
From what you tell me, it would seem that Rodamant was bent on the task of reviving his own mummified corpse with the flesh of the living. This is very unusual indeed. It takes an incredible magic power to alter the singular purpose of an undead mind. Perhaps there is a power at work here, which is beyond my ken. Mashif and his vessel should remain here, lest we risk taking demonic stowaways to other lands.
You've killed Rodamant, eh? That's quite a nice piece of work. If you ever need a job as a mercenary, I'd be happy to sign you up. We're keeping the town safe and tight, but I've got a hunch there's something Jaren's not telling us.
Atma. Now there's a fine woman. Lately, though, she's only thinking about revenge. She has reason enough. We ran into one of those old tomb guardians when I ran with my bandits. I know they aren't easy foes to face, so you sure have my respect. Have you told Atma yet?
Atma's been telling everyone what you've done for her. There used to be a lot of brothels here. I guess the trouble scared all the women away. Or maybe they're safe in Jaren's palace.
Mashif is an honorable man, but I fear that he is growing impatient with me about impounding his ship. I dare not tell him what's really happening in this city. I have heard of your many deeds of skill and bravery. I feel I can trust you with something I have been hesitant to speak of. Drognin and I have concluded that the Dark Wanderer who passed through here recently was Diablo himself. Drognin believes that Diablo is searching the desert for the secret tomb where the great Horadric mage Tal Rasha keeps Baal imprisoned. You must find Diablo and put an end to the terrible evil that has fallen upon our city. Drognin is wise and is sure to have some helpful advice for you as to how Tal Rasha's tomb may be found. It may take you quite some time to find the tomb. May you be ready when you do.
Strange. An unexpected eclipse. Oh no, snakes. I hate snakes. Ah, yes. The sun warms the world once more. Greetings, my friend. Have you spoken to Jaren yet? He's quite a remarkable leader for being such a young man. Then again, the old blood has always run strong in this land. The Viper amulet you bear is actually the headpiece of a Horadric staff. Yes, you have an uncanny knack for finding rare and valuable artifacts. Of course, you'll have to use a Horadric cube to combine the headpiece with the shaft. You have quite a treasure there in that Horadric cube. According to Horadric lore, the cube can restore a Horadric staff. To do it, use the cube as you would a scroll. When the cube opens, place both pieces of the staff into it and use the cube's transmute power. You'll be pleased to know that the cube has other alchemical uses as well. 6 gems plus 1 sword transmute into a socketed longsword. You may also transmute 2 quivers of crossbow bolts into 1 quiver of arrows, while 2 quivers of arrows yield 1 quiver of bolts. I must leave it to you to discover other formulae. Diablo nears his goal. We have little time to lose. Remember, my friend, that Andariel gave herself willingly to Diablo's cause. It would be prudent to assume that the other evils will attempt to aid their master as well. Ilzix is quite a scoundrel, but I like him all the same. I've been speaking with Lord Jaren, and I sense that he is becoming more and more agitated by something. You should try to talk to him again. If he still won't take you into his confidence, seek to prove yourself a bit more. I gather that his respect for you is growing.
Wariv may not remember me, but I helped him out when I was a young paladin. There's no need for me to remind him. The rewards for honor will not come in this life. Legend has it that Tal Rasha lies imprisoned within his tomb, forever struggling to keep the Lord of Destruction bound. His was a selfless act, although perhaps foolhardy.
So, did you plunder any booty? Wareve is a good friend. We've shared many tales, he and I. If we had it all to do over again, I believe we'd both be explorers of some renown. I'm sorry, I can't help you much here. Now, if the tombs were across the ocean, then I'd be the guy to talk to.
You have done well to restore light to our world. I've heard legends of the tomb of Tal Rasha, but I thought they were just old tales meant to scare young children.
Sure, I hear lots of what goes on. Did you hear about the harem guilds? They were the only ones allowed to hide out in the palace when the raids started. It figures. So this is daylight. It's overrated. Oh, I'd go with you to those tombs, but, I don't like all that living dead stuff.
You did well in destroying the Claw Vipers. We are all glad to see the sun return to its former glory. Tal Rasha's tomb is hidden deep in the desert among 6 others. Tal Rasha's symbol marks the true tomb. If you want to know what that symbol is, you should be able to find it within the legendary Arcane Sanctuary. I've been researching the old records, trying to find the location of Tal Rasha's tomb. Though I haven't found the tomb itself, I may have a good lead for you. The great Vigerai summoner, Horizon, built his arcane sanctuary somewhere around here. He was a powerful spellcaster and kept demons as slaves within the sanctuary. He kept a close eye on great events too, such as the imprisonment of Baal within Tal Rasha's tomb. If you could find Horizon's sanctuary, I'm sure that it would hold some clue as to the tomb's location. Though I doubt Horizon is still alive, you must proceed with caution. There's no telling what could be waiting inside. When I spoke of this with Lord Jaren, he asked that I send you to him. Perhaps he knows of a secret entrance or the like. Lysander is harmless enough. We keep each other company with our mutual interests, yet I don't think he could handle the enormity of our present situation.
Drognan's a mystery to me. Then again, I never did trust mages much. If you're going into the deep desert, why not hire a few of my men to watch your back?
It takes but one eye to revel in the beauty of our restored sun. That Lysander's a grumpy old cuss. You'd better not disturb him while he's working on his potions, or boom, you could get blasted to the moon. So, you're going to search for the 7 tombs, huh? Don't you know that they're just desert legends, passed between merchants and travelers? No one really believes that they exist.
I've traded my potions to Wareve many times. Yes, they seem to fetch a good price in the Western lands. Oh, Claw Vipers are fond of magical artifacts. Did you happen to find one in their temple? When Tal Rasha chose to embody the spirit of Baal, he knew his doom was to wrestle eternally against the will of the greater evil. Look around you and ask yourself, has the battle been won or lost?
With renewed daylight, one may gather the wits that were scattered about like restrictive undergarments in the darkness. Be very careful, my friend. I think I've seen enough recently not to doubt that these tombs exist, and if they do, they are most certainly guarded by terrible creatures.
The sun again shines on Lutgolain. I'm beginning to like you, traveler. When you arrived, Warreve's caravan had been long overdue. With all of the evil that's arisen in the land, I'm surprised he got through it all. When the troubles began here, I allowed the terrified harem guilds to join me within the safety of the palace. All was fine until one night. Screams echoed up the stairwells from the harem. My guards arrived to find the poor girls being slaughtered by a merciless band of hell-spawned demons. My brave guardsmen tried to push the demons back into the mysterious rift from which they came. Ever since, my men have fought a losing battle. Demons have continued to pour through the rift into the palace. Ultimately, I hired Grays and his mercenaries to help protect the rest of my fair city. Drognin believes that the arcane sanctuary lies buried underneath this palace, since Lut-Gholein occupies the site of an ancient Viserai fortress. My palace is open to you now. Take care.
You may enter the palace.
This was not designed by nature's architect. Finally, now I can leave this twisted nightmare.
Seekers of the tomb of Tal Rasha will find it through the portal, but know that the glowing glyphs recorded here in my arcane sanctuary are the signs of the 6 false tombs. The missing 7th sign marks the tomb of Tal Rasha. Of the Haradrim, he might be called the foremost. It was a shining but brief moment for the mage clans when they set aside their differences and worked together against the common enemy. The Haradrim relentlessly pursued the 3 across the desolate empires of the east and even into the uncharted lands of the west, leaving the Archangel Tyrael's hands unblemished. Presuming the 3 to be vanquished, the Haradrim's unstable fellowship began to dissipate. Abandoning their sacred charge to safeguard the 3 soul stones, the disparate mage clans began to squabble amongst each other over petty differences. Their conflicts not only dissolved their brotherhood, but strengthened the evils which they had buried beneath the cold earth.
So, now we know Jaren's little secret. Well, I guess I can see why he wanted me to stay, though. I'm just glad it didn't come to that. Now he tells me to wait some more, in case you need to get out of here. Well, for you, I'll do it. Maybe they'll mention me in the epic ballads, eh? I've been all around the seas in these parts. It's dangerous sailing west this time of year, though. Until the season changes, the caravan through the desert is the main trade route to Westmarch.
Oh, Lysander is cranky, but he's a good old man. He used to give me medicines when my son was ill. You're more the hero than I could have dreamed. Perhaps there is hope for us after all.
Ha! I wish Jaren would have let me in the palace. I would have saved those girls and kicked demon ass back to the fire pits of hell. The way I see it, well, it's all pretty blurry. Oh, I'd go with you to those tombs, but, I don't like all that living dead stuff.
I hope that this false summoner found peace in death. Unfortunately, it is more likely that he will be dragged down into hell by the demons he was bound to. Let this be a lesson to you. Demonic magic is a quick path, but its powers are seductive and deadly. Excellent! You have a Horadric staff. Carry it with you into Tal Rasha's tomb. Find within the tomb the chamber whose floor is inset with the circle of 7 symbols. Place the staff into the receptacle you find there. That will open the secret passage into Tal Rasha's burial chamber. But be prepared for a fight. You'll likely have to kill Tal Rasha to destroy Baal. Diablo nears his goal. We have little time to lose. Remember, my friend, that Andariel gave herself willingly to Diablo's cause. It would be prudent to assume that the other evils will attempt to aid their master as well. You must move quickly now, friend, for Diablo is undoubtedly close to finding what he seeks. Find the tomb of Tal Rasha before he frees the Lord of Destruction.
I feel no pity for that would-be summoner. His terrible ambition for demonic power was his undoing. You merely hastened the inevitable. Atma is a good, loving woman, but I fear she will succumb to her despair and hatred. Faith is stronger than any armor. The shield will protect the body, but faith will strengthen the courageous heart. Legend has it that Tal Rasha lies imprisoned within his tomb, forever struggling to keep the Lord of Destruction bound. His was a selfless act, although perhaps foolhardy.
So, Horizon's been dead for some time. I take it you at least found what you were looking for.
The Horadrim were a powerful order, although maybe too prideful. Tal Rasha was one of their order, and that should tell you something. Any man who believes himself strong enough to contain one of the prime evils is in for a rude awakening, I should think. Larger forces are moving inexorably towards us. You must now make haste to the tombs.
Horizon's urinal? Oh, journal. Yes, well, glad you found it. Such a shame about those poor harem girls, huh? I shall miss them deeply. I mean, their conversations, of course. Such is always the fate of those who meddle with evil. When Tal Rasha chose to embody the spirit of Baal, he knew his doom was to wrestle eternally against the will of the greater evil. Look around you and ask yourself.
Well, the news going around town is very unsettling. Apparently, we were in more danger than anyone thought. Good work, friend. You may have saved all our skins. That old desert fox L6 is as crafty as they come. Years back, he made off with a small fortune of my caravan's wares. I certainly never expected to see him so domesticated. I guess you'll be heading to the tombs now. I hear that they're in the deepest desert regions.
The demonic force that was emanating from the corrupted sanctuary has dissipated. I thank you greatly for your help. Now we can look to rebuilding our lives. All will be for nothing, though, if you do not stop the greater evil which is rapidly gaining ground. It is well known that there are 7 great Horadric tombs hidden beneath the sands in the furthest reaches of the desert. One of them surely must be Tal Rasha's prison. You must explore each of the tombs to find Tal Rasha's exact location. Of course, Diablo is searching for the tomb as well. No one can guess as to what terrors he has unleashed in his search. I thank you for your heroic aid. I'm also glad that you found something you were looking for. The journal should help you find the true tomb of Tal Rasha. Hopefully there is still time to get there before Diablo. Go now, and good luck.
These Horadric markings are mysterious. Aha! So, Tal Rasha, this is your resting place.
Looking for Baal. I am your doom. I am your doom.
I thank you, mortal, for my freedom. But I did expect you earlier. I am the Archangel Tyrion. I came here to prevent Diablo from freeing his brother Baal. But I have failed. Now terror and destruction roam free throughout your world. Even now, they head towards the eastern capital of Kurast, to the very heart of the Zakarum Temple. There they hope to find their eldest brother, Mephisto, the Lord of Hatred, who was imprisoned there ages ago. If the three prime evils unite, they will be invincible. Though it is unclear as to what their aims are, it is certain that they must be stopped at all costs. I am broken, and the energies that tie me to this world are diminishing rapidly. You must take up this quest and prevent the three brothers from reuniting. You must cross the sea and search for Diablo and Baal in Kurast. Now, hurry, mortal. Time is running out for all of us.
You're more the hero than I could have dreamed. Perhaps there is hope for us after all. You have proven to be the greatest of heroes, and I am honored to call you friend. Thank you for bringing peace to our lives again. Geglash may seem like a sot, but he's a brave man. All this trouble has driven him to drinking more than his usual.
Hey! I've got no time for old alchemists. Lysander would be completely useless in a real fight. You're an inspiration, and such a hero that it makes me look twice as bad. You're okay. Hey, just save some glory for us little guys, huh?
This is a serious setback. It is most unfortunate that Tal Rasha has been consumed by Baal's destructive influence. There are many secrets known to the Horadrim which could be used by Baal against us. You must travel east by sea to Kurast and stop Diablo and Baal before they free their eldest brother Mephisto. The lands of the Eastern Empire are not the same as they used to be. There's been little word for some time. Speed is of the essence. Go quickly, my friend. May the fates smile on you.
This is terrible news. Baal is in possession of one of mankind's most powerful mages, and the Lord of Terror guides his path. They must be stopped, for I am sure they mean to free their elder brother Mephisto, the Lord of Hatred, who lies imprisoned under the corrupted city of Kurast. I fear you are walking into a great evil, but your faith can save you. May you walk in the light always.
The Archangel Tyrael was the one who gave the Soul Stones to the Horadrim 260 years ago. It is highly unusual for the forces of heaven to so directly interfere with man's destiny, but Tyrael was said to act of his own volition. We have never been able to discern why. Perhaps he goes against the consensus of heaven because he doubts our ability to defend ourselves. Or perhaps he sees more threat than his peers. Where the actions of hell often seem straightforwardly bent on destruction, the motives of heaven are unfathomable. Now make haste. Both Diablo and Baal must be stopped before they join with their brother Mephisto. If the three prime evils unite once again, the world as we know it will be no more.
I'm sorry things didn't turn out as you had hoped. Go and remember us fondly. You know, you bothered me far less than most.
Never fear, my friend. You did the best you could. I suspect that Diablo and Baal are now heading east towards Kurast. You will find them. I know you will.
You have done very well. Few could have come this far, let alone discover the true tomb of Tal Rasha. Unfortunately, I hear that Diablo and Baal have eluded your grasp. This is most unfortunate. If you wish to travel east, I have authorized Mashif to give you passage by sea. I imagine he should be very anxious to leave by now. Good luck on your quest, and thank you again for saving my beloved city. You will always be welcome in Lut Gholein, my friend.
You make me long for the days of glory, when I had both hands, both eyes, and more of a foot. I heard that Diablo has managed to best you, at least for the time being. I hope you catch up with him soon, and send him back to hell for good.
I've heard that your foe got away from you this time. Well, look at it this way. You've got the demons on the run. If you're going to be leaving, then, well, thanks for your help. I might spare you a few of my men. Why, enough gold can muster an army.
Jaren tells me I should take you east to Kurast. I haven't been there for several years, but rumor has it things are pretty grim.